we go. Get ready to have a good time. This is exciting, isn't it?
All right, we're on. Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Podcaster? Podcaster?
Garry.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Garry.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He is Garry Meier.
It's the January 21st, 2022 edition of the Garry Meier Show, Cocktail Hour Live.
Cocktails. Woo! Drinks.
We went wheels up at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain, 3 Pacific, and so on. Just after the opening of last week's Cocktail Hour, Garry said,
I hope someday he can show us a house fire in his neighborhood, because they always have a house fire. Not that it concerns anybody, but the people whose house caught on fire and their insurance company.
so here's a sad photo of a neighbor's house that caught fire New Year's Eve. I didn't want to send our correspondent Todd Pickering to such a sad scene, so instead, he's at the happiest place on earth.
Hey, GarrForce, Todd Pickering from Mouse Planet here at the Disneyland Resort, to be specific, Disney California Adventure, where Mulan and Mushu kick off the Lunar New Year celebration starting today, January 21st through February 13th. It celebrates the culture of Korea, Vietnam, and China, and it's the year of the toad. No, that's not a thing. It's the year of the tiger. So this year we're gonna see Tigger. Tiggers love New Year celebrations, especially lunar. Oh, you can also try things like the Impossible Lion Head Meatball. It's all plant-based and tastes like pork. It's got cabbage and Shaoxing wine reduction, if I said that right. You can also see the dragon. That's my favorite part of the processional. Tiggers do not like dragons. He does. He just doesn't like being upstaged. Who can blame him?
Check out Mouse Planet on Instagram for more Lunar New Year celebration coverage throughout the day. Back here in Central Florida, MyMousePlanet.com reporting duties had me attending Media Day for the Epcot International Festival of the Arts, which runs through February 21st at Walt Disney World Resort. The festival celebrates the visual, performing, and culinary arts all around Epcot. Highlights this year include the return of the Disney on Broadway concert series and a brand new nighttime Beacon of Magic display featuring the Muppets singing Rainbow Connection as the lights change on Spaceship Earth. Yes, the Garry Meier Show is brought to you with the support of MousePlanet.com, reporting on all things Disney. Go check it out. Of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. For those new to the show, Garry podcasts 5 days a week. All shows are available on GarryMeier.com, where you can sign up for the longer Tuesday and Thursday premium podcasts. On the website, you'll also find Gary's blog, merchandise, and now even these Friday Cocktail Live shows. Comments are welcome on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch while we're live streaming. You can always text Garry at 773-888-2157. Regular charges apply. The GarrForce Live YouTube channel is the best place to stream all of our live shows and to catch up on those you may have missed. Please take a moment now to subscribe on YouTube. It's free, and if you click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button, you can be notified when we're live. If you scan that QR code on the screen, you'll be taken there right now. Be sure to like and share the show on all of your favorite social media channels. It helps the show, and if you've done that already, thanks. Now fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Alan, let's kick the tires and light the fires. Let's do that so we can go wheels up. And I just want to say this at the outset. Betty White is dead. Bob Saget is dead. John Madden is dead. Louis Anderson is dead. Sidney Poitier is dead. Meatloaf is dead. It's the middle of winter. And I don't want to hear any excuse that says you don't have a cocktail. You don't need one, because you insult my intelligence when you say that. Get some lubricant, because the celebs are piling up like cordwood. Leslie, if we have ever needed to drink, and I'll find any reason to, this is a reason. It's cold.
Dude.
It's cold in most parts of the country, and people are dropping dead like flies.
So your cavalcade of death made me almost want to pop the condom before you
Well,
turned on
don't,
the
because we
camera
want to
here.
see it go. We want to make that official now. Whoa, there it goes. Here, she's going to pop the wine condom, and
Oh,
wow.
oh,
I think
that one shot like yeah.
that means it's going to be
We
a good
need this.
show. Deborah says she likes the Commando shows. Yeah, I like them too as a change-up. We don't really have to pay attention as much and be as on our game, although we're not going to just be sloppy, but you know what I mean. You have to
No,
pay
we still
attention and
prepare, for
think.
God's sake.
Right, you got to think about what you're going to say to the person and all that. I don't have to do that as much. My goal tonight is just to get to that Luxardo cherry. See it down there waiting for me? Yeah.
Will there
I'm
be one
swallowing.
waiting in the wings should you finish this up? Good golly, man. How many Band-Aids do we have on now?
Oh, boy. I am on 4. Okay, Ryan sent me pizza, and I got the Mickey Mouse from Tracy, and then I had the Tasmanian Devil from Roberto, and you sent me the Shakespeare insult Band-Aids. You see that? And the little phrase on there says, "Do thou amend thy face, and I'll amend my life."
Wow.
That's Shakespeare. He was the Don Rickles of his day.
Yeah.
Hey,
He was rocking the globe.
Hey, I like
Was
what
there a
Brian
2
says.
drink minimum? I'm
What's
sorry.
that?
I was wondering if there was a 2-drink minimum at the Globe Theater.
Yeah.
He was tearing it up.
Right. What else did they have to do? They had no electricity. Brian says, best hour of the weekend about to begin. Thank you. That's a big assignment there, to give you the best hour of the whole weekend, since it's only Friday at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Time to drop the Luxardo. It's in there. Cheers, GarrForce. Thank you, Brian. And we got to put the first text of the day from Keely-Ann. I wonder if Alexa has a schnauzer. Let's ask her. Alexa, do you have a schnauzer? I don't know what you're talking about. All right. And let me go to the screen door, because people are checking in. Take a look at who's here. Donna made this comment, and I just said that right before we went on. There was still a sliver of light outside the window before we went on. Yeah. You can start feeling the lengthening daylight. That is such a good sign. You're right. And Stephen says, any chance to have Bill Curtis as a guest? I'll call him. Fantastic. I'm Bill Curtis. Bill was, and no, he's not anymore. He's not a local newsman in Chicago. He was for a long time, but now he's on that Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me show on NPR. And he's a big voiceover guy. You hear his voice on a lot of commercials. And he was on Anchorman, as far as a voice goes, if you remember that movie. Doug,
is he
Jan.
still raising?
Oh, I'm just saying hello. Hold that thought, Leslie. Jan from Bloomington, Illinois. Lisa from Lake Bluff, Illinois. You know Lisa. You worked with her, Leslie.
I did.
Lisa Dominique.
She got married in a cow costume, as I recall.
Okay.
It's funny what you remember about people.
Yes, it is. Dave, whatever happened to Fashion Bug? What I remember that there's something about that I was involved in to make fun of, and I can't remember. But there's a lot of stuff that I'm losing touch with. I wonder if I should go have that checked. Who are you? I'm sorry. Who are you sitting there? Oh, hey, Johnny, listen to this. Oh, listen to this. I got 2 Tommy Chong joints for the weekend, and I have to do a paper about my qualities for my class. So that should be good, Johnny. Hey, he sent me a picture of the Tommy Chong joints. Can you put that on the screen, Alan? Because is there a Tommy Chong dispensary? How do you get those?
Look at you pretending like you don't know.
I'm just curious to really be with it with the kids.
Sure,
and
sure.
I don't know how he got the pre-rolls. Johnny, tell me, I don't know if you can, because I don't think you can mail that stuff, can you? Pretty much Jim Belushi said that the feds still consider it illegal, so it's a weird standoff between the states and the feds. The states are loving the revenue, so they don't want to get into it with the feds, and the feds say, well, you can't transport it over state, or I don't know what they say, but I would think that, yeah.
It was just a couple of years ago that they refused to change the classification. So it's still, as far as the feds are concerned, right up there with cocaine and heroin.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a little complicated.
Well, I don't know if Johnny could tell us how he got the joints, but he sent me the picture. That was the picture of the joints arriving, however they got to him. Fashion Bug. I had this character, if you're new to the program, many years ago, I had a character that I did based on a real person in Chicago who was a booth announcer, but he had a speech impediment. And I thought that was a little odd to get into broadcasting if you have a speech impediment. But he did. And I started doing my impression of him. And there was a place called Fashion Bug. And maybe he did the commercial and I would just say, Fashion Bug. And now Fashion Bug. I don't know. And now we return to Botho Thurketh, already in progress. It was kind of like that. Now, here's how weird it gets. The real guy who I did the impression of and I have the same birthday. When I found that out, I kind of freaked out. And then somebody called me in the industry and said that the real guy had some kind of issues and that if I kept making fun of him, it could make it worse. And then I felt even more guilty, but I kept doing it. I don't know what happened to the guy. I think he's dead.
Oh,
but that's the history of that.
And he never actually did have a ranch where young boys were taught to do synchronized dance or anything like that.
Well, it was in the bit, it was the Broadcasting and Film Ranch in an unincorporated area in Illinois. And he ran that, and we had a lot of fun with that. Okay. So that's where that came from. Fashion Bog. The Fashion Bog. Okay. Is that a clothing store? Is that yeah, right? Okay.
And it's more fun to say than J. Riggins or any of those other now defunct stores. Zaire.
Fashion Bog. All right. Woo. Okay. Yeah. All right. If you want to talk on the show, as mentioned at the outset there, you text Keith, and then Keith will route you into the show and you can talk on it like a real radio station if you'd like to do that. Don't be shy. There's no policing of what you're going to say. This is not like being on regular radio where you're going to get the brush off after 10 seconds because they don't think you're making some point. I don't really get into that. I figure if you're willing and take the time to call in, you deserve a platform. And I got into this week on Real Radio because this colleague of ours died, and I did some eulogizing on a couple of radio stations. And one of the hosts asked me if it was what I would have done if I was still on the radio, where I'd let a caller go on and on, because the guy who died, apparently he worked this all-night show, and he would let callers go on and on 10, 15 minutes. And I said to the host, if I had to do 5 hours talking about sports, you could talk for an hour because that's a lot of time to kill. And then he said he was the opposite, that he would cut callers off very abruptly. And I don't believe in that, because I think you're not giving the person that's calling is not a professional broadcaster, and they should be given some propers to expound on what they want to talk about. I'm sure some people get nervous, and just let them do it. But here, we discussed all this on the premium show yesterday about why radio stations do that, because the host is freaking out. He's afraid that people are tuning out and that they're not going to get the proper ratings. And it's a whole sequence of events that has really gummed up the works of radio. But I don't give a shit about that right now. to be
But it
honest
was
with you.
only when you let people go on and on that you really were able to find some of those peaches that we've had
Yes.
over the years, like listener Joe, and how she would spend her evening. She would pour herself a cocktail and start calling. There was who was the guy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. If you
was
have
it?
a lot of people called and were regular callers, and they became part of the show because it was just part of the show. They call in because they just want to be closer to the show. And I appreciate that.
Yes, Dave, I was.
Dave wants to know if you were lane closure in the past life. Yes, you were.
I absolutely
Yes, you were.
And
Wow.
correction, Fashion Bug is not defunct. They still have a web presence here. Fashion Bug Online and Fashion Bug.
Bog.
Yes.
Let's call it Fashion Bog. That's a super name. Okay, Donna says I need to move my head to the left. Why? Because it says this? Yeah, well, that's a whole different show when I do that. Hey, that reminds me, Louis Anderson died, and I had a brief brush with him many years ago. I was walking through a hotel lobby in Santa Barbara, and Louis was walking by me the opposite way, and he looked at me, smiled, and kind of gave me a, ooh. You know, when you get a, ooh, you know, I'm not just making, really, it was,
sure.
Ooh. Okay. So I better move to the left if I say that. Okay. So that was my only Louis Anderson connection. And I wonder, and did you hear this about Meatloaf? There might be a COVID connection, not confirmed, but he had other health problems, and now COVID is being bandied about as far as Meatloaf.
They're trying to tie COVID into every death these days.
Yeah.
So
that's COVID. Yeah, COVID.
Yeah.
You know what John F. Kennedy died of? COVID.
COVID.
It wasn't the gunshot wounds. It was COVID.
And they're doing that thing where they conflate it. They go, he died with COVID.
With.
Like, oh, okay.
With.
He also died with a pillow nearby, but that didn't mean that the pillow was the cause of death.
Let's throw COVID on the pile. It's popular. Everybody's talking about it. All right. Juan, God bless Meatloaf. And oddly enough, I was thinking before Meatloaf died that we haven't had Meatloaf at the house for a while. And now I really think about Meatloaf all the time.
Finished off some meatloaf today.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey,
there's a
how
vortex.
About you want a vortex? So I'm doing the double beaver this morning. Back to back, leave it to beaver. In the first episode, June is serving meatloaf. What are the chances? Yeah.
There are cosmic threads all coming together. And what is it? Is it May when we finally get the pictures from the James Webb telescope?
Yeah, well,
all
it's
this
over.
Will make sense, I'm pretty sure.
No,
yeah,
all this
or
actually
we spin out of control.
Yeah, all this will make no sense because we'll realize even more that this is completely stupid. Whatever we're doing here is stupid, stupid, stupid. As this telescope shows you way in the bowels of the universe what's happening. Oh my God. I got freaked out. I went to the planetarium in Chicago, and they do this thing where they take you to the edge of our solar system. And Earth is way the hell back there when you go to the edge of our little solar system.
Right.
And look back, and Earth is this little dot. And I'm thinking, I hate that stuff because then I'm just, again, feeling there's no purpose. We're just floating around here and pretending like it matters, and it doesn't. Well,
and
I got to
drink.
I'll drink to that.
Voyager out there all by itself, and
it
seems kind of sad. And I'm hoping at some point it does encounter some aliens who go, "Here, come here, little buddy, we'll take you in."
Tim in the comments section, remember Craig the alcoholic who used to call?
That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said he was an alcoholic, and we talked often on the show, and I said, okay, sounds like you have an issue. You admit it. Please don't drive. And he said, I'll give you that. He promised that. Sadly, he passed away a couple of years ago, as did Joe. Listener Joe was another staple of the program. Loved her, and she passed away. And that's why we do this, ladies and gentlemen, on Fridays, because it's a short dance. And why are we worried about anything? It doesn't matter. That's why we should enjoy every day.
Have a drink and go to Fashion Bug.
Fashion Bug. Oh my God. Okay. Ryan is going to be on talking Wisconsin. And Johnny, I mentioned about the joints. Johnny also has sent us a picture of him standing near a big wiener mobile. Boy, when you see it that way, that thing really sticks out. I've been inside that wiener. I've been in that. It's very nice.
So yeah, is there like a compartment for sleeping in the back, or is that wasted space? Is it just storage for wiener whistles?
Yeah,
What's it look like?
it's a lot of seating in the back and front. Well, you sit in the front there and drive at the tip of the wiener, and then in the back are just more bench seats. And I don't think they give out the whistles anymore because they became a choking hazard.
Yeah, there was that. I have a story too. There's a big recall on pacifiers because it turns out that the sucking part detaches from the facial guard, and seems like you have one job when you're making pacifiers, and that would be to make sure that those two pieces never come apart.
They should all be one. Yeah, so they never come apart. You're right. That's kind of a big thing.
It kind of seems that way.
When you're putting a pacifier together.
Also, why don't they rent out the wiener wagon for parties? Wouldn't that put a stripper pole inside there and let people have at it?
Okay, that's why, because they don't want the image to be sullied like you'd like to do. Yeah.
Don't all the party buses have stripper poles? I don't know. I've not really been.
You've heard tell.
I've heard tell.
Yeah, you've heard some people talk about it in private company. Okay. Johnny, you can tell us how you got the Chong joints if you want. If you think it might lead to trouble, don't. But now that you've showed me the packaging, I'm kind of curious. Oh, Johnny has a wiener whistle. I'll bet he does. I got one when I was a kid, and Oscar Meier came in the Wienermobile to the neighborhood and gave out those little whistles. And man, you could swallow those very easily.
Did they used to have like a diminutive man who was little
it was
Oscar?
Right. He was all of maybe 5 feet tall with the chef costume and everything. He'd jump out. It was like seeing a beetle back then because that's what we were into. That was that and Davy Crockett when I was a little kid were huge. The coonskin cap.
Your life was so pure. And then wasn't the Yo-Yo Man part of that whole?
Yes, the Duncan Yo-Yo Man. We'd go to the yo-yo place and the salesman would come by and he'd tell us all the rumors. He was the Google of his day. He'd tell us all the jokes and rumors that were around the country, but you'd never know unless he came through town and shared that.
So kids, as I'm doing these tricks and making Louis Anderson died today.
Yeah, right. Right. Bob Saget. Betty White is dead, kids.
Betty White.
Walk the dog. Walk the dog. I know you pine for those days because they do seem simpler, but they were because the internet has changed everything dramatically. There was not a lot of this information going around the world in an instant, most of it bullshit, and you didn't have to wade through that. It was slow moving and seemed rather benign, and now it's all harmful and moves fast.
Which is why you do double beaver in the morning, huh?
I have to go black and white and double beaver in the morning to get my mind right. It's just something I can go back, because those shows aired from 57 to 63 in my youth, and that's a simpler time. It really was. I know there was crap, but we kind of managed to ignore it more. And the Vietnam War was starting in the early 60s. And we had that brief moment after World War II and then the Korean War where it would seem like everything was okay.
You know, but I am like seeing 30-somethings talk about, you know, back in the day watching Hannah Montana or, you know, any one of those other Disney shows. So I think we're all of a mind where you just want to go back to when your parents paid the rent and you knew you could get some free food. That's pretty cool.
And it just seems simpler. And I know that sounds too nostalgic to live. You're just making it look like everything's a terror today. It's not. But I'm just comparing pre-internet to post-internet, and it is different. That's all I'm saying. All right. Enough of the walk down memory lane. Where is Ryan to talk about that fine state of Wisconsin?
Hey, everyone.
How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, it's cold up here.
It's cold in a lot of places.
They're worried about the Packer fans this weekend because we got a playoff game on Saturday. So
at Lambeau?
At Lambeau, the doctors are already touting that they're worried about the Packer fans. They're not worried about the players, but worried about the fans. So
what's the temperature going to be?
In the 5, 6, 7 degrees. Probably if there's a wind chill in there, it'll probably be lower than that. So,
but isn't that Packer Nation? Isn't that what they live for? They come in their snowmobile suits, and you will see these people sitting there. Some will have their shirts off. You know they will, because that's what they do. And they have the big 50-gallon drums in the parking lot on fire. It's a thing.
Some of them were quoted saying, as long as it's not 50 below, we're in Wisconsin, we're Packer fans. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Go home.
And Alan, did you put that on there at 68 degrees in Orange County?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Alan.
Yeah.
Thanks,
okay.
Alan.
Yeah. All right. And that's what people do that live in those climates. They'll send that to people like us up north. Hey,
this is why we live in these climates. I was the other day was the anniversary of the coldest day ever in Chicago. The minus 27 degrees was 1985, I think it was.
Oh my God!
I don't miss that.
There's nothing to miss there. I'll never forget that. My car, I didn't have a garage. My car didn't start for 5, 6 days, and I didn't have enough in the refrigerator because when you're single, what do you have? Mustard, a few beers, and mustard, and that's all I had. I thought, well, I can't go 4 or 5 days without food. I thought, well, the 7-Eleven is only a block and a half. I'll put on a bunch of layers. So I start walking, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm halfway. It is brutal. The wind chill was 50-something below. So I run the rest of the way to the 7-Eleven. I'm standing there, and I almost asked a stranger for a ride home. I thought I'm not going to make it home. It was so, I'll never forget it. It was brutal. And of course, by just saying minus 27, but it's hard to believe that the temperature can get that low and get even lower with the wind, and then your skin does not like it. And we live there.
Let's talk moisturizer.
Yeah. Oh, do you remember that? What do you remember anything particular
where
about?
I was when it was that freaking cold? Not particularly. The last one was that I recall was when we had that Arctic blast, and that was when Jussie Smollett said that some guys were walking around on the streets of Chicago with bleach and clotheslines and
it was minus 50 wind chill at 2 a.m, and him and 2 other people just happened to be in an area of Chicago that's remote when it's nice out. I've been in that area he's talking about. There's nobody there when it's 75 and sunny. It's an off area. So as soon as I heard him roll that, what's that?
It was MAGA country, according to him.
Right. Yes. And then to have, what are the odds that two Trump guys met a guy and they happen to know that he's a homosexual and started,
on
really.
The show Empire, which most, right-wing extremists would call destination viewing. Yeah. That made perfect sense. And that they happen to have some bleach on him at that hour of the night, too.
And he did not drop his Subway sandwich when he was attacked. He managed to hold on to that and bring it all the way back to his apartment. What's not to believe?
That's the last cold snap I remember.
There you go. And you'll always remember that as the Jussie Smollett cold snap.
Gary, Keith says he's got Matt, the trivia guy, on hold. You want to bring him in now?
Come up. He'll talk. Come on, Matt.
Let's bring in Matt, the trivia guy. Anytime you're ready, Keith.
Hey, Mr. Meier, you Hall of Famer, you?
How you doing?
Oh, not so bad. Getting ready to go in for another nuclear treatment, but other than that, I'm fine.
Well, I hope you make it through that. You've got some health issues you're dealing with, and we hope you get through them okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hello, gorgeous Leslie.
Hello, Matt.
She said she would double up on her prayers for me, and I certainly appreciate that. She's the sweetest person God ever put on this earth.
Wow.
You know what I call
I'm not
Tim,
that
her
sweet.
husband, don't you?
You know you call what?
You know what I call her? What I call her husband, Tim. You know what I call him?
Yeah, an obstacle.
No.
He calls him Mr. Lucky.
I refer to Tim as Mr. Lucky.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow,
and he is.
He really
I'm
is.
Mrs. Lucky. Yes.
And Matt is a courier. And do you drive a truck, ride a bike? How do you deliver your stuff?
I drive a van, just a cargo van, just a regular old Chevy van.
It says free candy on the side. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, very fun. Very funny, Leslie.
There it is. There it is.
Smart Alex.
You know me.
Kids.
Puppies.
Hey, why aren't you showing off your new T-shirts there, Miss Closure?
I don't have.
Did he give you some new T-shirts?
Not recently.
How recently, Matt?
Well, fairly recently, a few weeks ago.
I thought I showed everything.
Did you show off the anniversary one already?
I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, well, if I didn't,
okay. I couldn't remember if you did.
I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah,
And-
that was
and
back
the,
in November.
And the one with Billy the Buckskin on it?
I'm going to have to, I will pull them out and show them next week. I promise.
That's what she
Okay.
said.
There's a new one coming, dear, just for you, just as a heads up, there's a new one coming. So.
All right, Matt. Well, when do you go in for your treatment?
A week from Monday, February the 7th.
Okay. Well, pray for you and
By
hope
the
you
way,
get through all this.
I appreciate it. I put it on the text, the live chat, but I just thought I'd bring it up. Cliff Mercer, or do you say Mercer, passed away the day before your birthday, December 1st, 2008. I looked it up just a minute ago.
Okay. That's his birthday, too. His birthday is the same as mine and the same as Aaron Rodgers and Britney Spears.
Wow.
What a group. What a group.
Boy. Yeah, well,
That is an interesting combo.
I share one with Dick Van Dyke and unfortunately Ted Nugent. But you forgot somebody on your parade of stars, the dead, just passed away. The great director Peter Bogdanovich also passed away.
So many to mention this past week or two. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and I'm going to watch one of my favorite movies this weekend in his honor because he directed it. Here's a trivia question for you real quick before I go, Gary. Who is the youngest ever winner of an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress?
I'm going to say Tatum O'Neal.
Bingo. You know how old she was?
11?
10.
Wow.
Paper Moon.
Yeah. And it was a movie that Peter Bogdanovich directed called Paper Moon.
Yeah.
And it's a great, great film. She played opposite her dad in that movie, and it's a spectacular movie.
All right.
I'm going to watch that in Peter Bogdanovich's honor.
Matt, keep in touch.
We're a little late, folks, so good night.
Good night. Good night, Matt. Matt, the trivia guy. Speaking of movies and things, the final season, I thought it was the final season of Ozark, dropped, as they call it in the business today. And then I saw Justin Bateman last night on a talk show, and they were going to do 10 final episodes, but Netflix, they do this a lot with these series. They think, we don't want it to end really. Let's do 7 and then have another season of 7. So there are 14 episodes. 2 different seasons now.
Just milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah,
and
that's what they do.
You know, it's getting to the point where I kind of want it to wrap up. The Brits do this so well. They understand how to do an arc and then just put a bow on it and call it a day. And so I hope they don't like drag it out and then make you want to, you know, kill it as opposed to just letting it die a natural death like everybody else we've been talking about today.
Well, the problem is not a problem for anybody but the network, I guess. They don't have something to replace it with. When you have a Sopranos that is white hot or any of those series, and that happened to the Sopranos where it was going to end and then suddenly there were, oh, we got a couple more seasons because they show a check, a blank check to the producer. Hey, do you have any more ideas that can extend it? Yeah, I do. And that's what happens.
I don't think I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The other shows that they have going on Netflix right now, like the Sabrina remake, which is a darker teenage witch kind of show, and those sort of things, I don't think anything they've put out there has got the legs that Ozark does. So at this point, they're saying subscriptions are down too. And I think they're going to try whatever they can to try and keep that thing going. Well, of course they would, but
and they're raising the prices. So I think it's, as we talked about before, it's kind of an all, you know, a distraction to keep everybody tuned in.
Yeah. Well, that's showbiz. That's commerce. That's how it works.
And up here in Wisconsin on next Thursday, it'll still be light after 5 o'clock. So it'll give us something to look forward to. A little bit of Netflix, but we'll still be doing it in the daylight. So
what small pleasures we glom onto, and that's all there are really in life. Those little things that make it worthwhile, right? So you've put together something, Ryan?
I did.
All right.
You want to run that, Alan?
Alan, are you ready to hit the button? Oh, sure. Wait a minute. Before you hit the button, we're going to give away a wine condom and a GarrForce scarf, and we'll tell you what to put in the comment section to do that in just a minute after Ryan's report here. How about that?
And Keith just told me in the private chat that Johnny from Michigan's on hold, and we'll bring him up.
Okay, we'll talk to Johnny after too.
All right. Let's find the right screen because I was looking at the Johnny from Michigan screen. We're going to show the Wisconsin report. Here we go.
Wisconsin, yeah, hey.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan, and I have a few fun updates this week from Wisconsin. If you're looking to get out and enjoy the winter weather, and you don't want to go to Lambeau Field and watch the Packers, or you don't want to go sit and drink beer and ice fish, you could go sledding. Now, you say many of us have already been sledding. What are you talking about going sledding? Well, that was where you grabbed your sled and went to the nearest hill, maybe by your school. Well, around the area in Wisconsin, they also have toboggan runs. Many of these toboggan runs have been around since 1940. Most of them are at least 350 feet long and go over 25 miles an hour. The ones in Waukesha are 350 feet, but don't boast that you go over 25 miles an hour. There's one in Stevens Point that says that your experience is going to be going down the side of the hill at 25 miles an hour. Well, if that's fun and gets you out to do some things, that might be something you want to check out. We're all looking for something zen or something to relax in this crazy time. And as I was leaving the grocery store last night, I saw a vacuum truck, or almost like a street sweeper, cleaning the parking lot. I sat there and watched and thought, boy, that must be a zen job. Go along the parking lots at night and suck up all the trash and make it look good after you're done. Now, I know Gary's talked about why can't we have trucks like that go along the highway? And as you see here in the video and pictures, I think all you have to do is retrofit that suction device and you can achieve that. So kind of something fun coming out of the supermarket to sit and watch. It was pretty zen before I went home and went to bed. Hopefully you have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon.
See, you don't need a fancy house or a big boat. You have lengthening daylight, and you sit in a parking lot and watch a truck suck litter up. Those are the beautiful moments. And I'm glad you said that, Ryan, because I've been talking about a device, a truck, that goes along the highway and sucks up all the trash because obviously they're not picking it up anywhere. They don't have the manpower or the finances. A truck can go along and suck all that stuff up. Right?
You know, you can mock these sort of things, but on the web, there is like a whole community of people who just like watching power washing. There are people who like shoveling. So you are not alone.
Okay, a listener, I believe it was Chuck, sent me a vid. It's a compilation of people cutting down trees, and the trees fall on the house, on them. And tree cutting is dangerous and very unpredictable. And it's not for the squeamish or the amateur, because the tree could go, and these people apparently didn't see anything coming. It's hysterical. I'm sure some people were hurt very badly, but if you're going to be an idiot, am I alone when I delight in somebody getting hurt because they're an idiot? Is that just me? Should I not be that way?
Our neighbors got a tree cutting group, and the word monkey was in their name, and they did everything wrong, including standing on like a 6-foot ladder and standing on the very, very top of it.
Perfect.
You know, where all those stickers are that say,
right, don't go any higher than this rung, and they went to the next rung.
And we watched them take out 2 gutters, and it was probably the best entertainment we got for free in a while. It was awesome.
I don't know if you've cut any branches. I've had a few experiences where I thought, I'm not going high up in a tree because the branch is going to do what it wants to do. And I've told this story. In my mother's backyard, there was a long, long limb about 6 feet off the ground. So I thought, well, I can manage that. I don't even have to get on a ladder. So I'm cutting. It's about 6 inches in diameter, cutting. And the thing snaps and then comes right towards my face. And I was able to push it right away from me. Otherwise, that thing would have smacked me right. I mean, you don't know where it's going to fall. And this video, this compilation, these people are cutting down big trees and they're falling on the house, and coming back on them. And what are you doing? But I laugh.
There goes the car. There goes a kid. Yeah,
exactly. By the way, that reminds me, Ryan, you submitted a video to the program America's Funniest Videos. What's the update?
We didn't get anything, so I gotta. So we're out of the running on that. My wife wants to submit that bat video. We have that bat video. I think we played on. I don't know if we played it on here or not. So
the bat video.
Yeah, it's where there's a bat loose in the house, and
oh yeah, that one. But the one you sent was your son going down the driveway, right?
Yeah, it was going down a hill on a balance bike with no brakes, and he ends up in the bushes, and we all laugh.
And you were in the running, but
son, right?
No, we didn't hear any. We didn't make it, so we haven't heard anything. So,
oh, damn,
you know, nothing like letting your 3-year-old
getting hit in the crotch with a bat from a piñata. We've seen it all.
Oh, love
and not
those.
Everybody gets hurt, right? That's what they say.
That's what they say, but you know they are, and that's the fun part about it. You know they're hurt, but they're not going to say that on the show.
No.
That's what Bob Saget hosted for many years, made a fortune off of.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now they have the guy from Fresh Prince. I don't know his name.
Alfonso Ribeiro.
Yes, that's who that is.
Boy, that is stealing money. Doing that is stealing money on all levels. The people send all the material in. All they have to do is put them on the air and hire a host, and they got a show.
And
they prints money.
And they didn't have an audience for the longest time. They were just on columns of monitors, so you didn't even have to deal with an audience.
Right.
So
perfect. All right, Ryan.
Let's set up the drawing.
Let's do that.
I'm going to say let's go for hashtag Commando.
Hashtag Commando. Put that in the comment section, and you will be eligible to win the wine condom and the scarf. Now, it has been brought up that when you see the names go around and around for the drawing, some people are not seeing their names go by. And then Alan explained to me that doesn't mean you're not in the mix. It just happens to be the computer deciding what names it's going to show. Right, Alan?
Yeah, that's my understanding. The folks at StreamYard use the same tool. I was watching one of their presentations yesterday, and they had hundreds and hundreds of entries, and I might have seen maybe a dozen names go by, if that.
Yeah.
And not mine, despite entering. So I'm pretty sure that's how this works. But I'll show here on the screen. Let me throw that tab up on the screen real quick here. That's this tab over here. Share it up on the screen. I said share it on the screen. That requires one more click. There we go.
This is what you want.
Leslie's showing it off over in the corner. If you notice, right now we've got 24 valid entries. So that number will keep going up whenever the computer recognizes a valid entry, but you won't see every name go by.
Okay.
Just like when Bozo used to go into that big drum for the play-at-home player. I never saw my postcard or letter in that drum, and I know I sent it in.
All right.
Phil, put the hashtag in there. Otherwise, you're not entered. And if you have one in the past, please don't.
Yeah, let somebody else win. How about that?
Yeah.
Just
And
let it go.
let's go to Johnny on the phone here.
Wait a minute, Alan. Let's pay homage to the sponsors first,
okay,
and then
we'll go to Johnny.
Yeah.
All right.
First, the fine people at Bettenhausen Automotive.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I choose you.
That's my voice. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
You are
All
so
right.
multi-talented.
I am. And Team Hochberg, your mortgage experts. How about this guy to do your mortgage or refi? And his team, I would go to him because he does everything right. He is the sugar daddy of the scarves. He bought those scarves out of his own pocket many years ago to give away. And I took them from the radio station that I was at and brought them with me after they didn't appreciate what we were doing. But David does everything right, and he knows all about refi and mortgages, and the rates are in the threes, but you never know what's going to happen here. You might want to call for the free consultation if you're thinking about buying or refinancing, because you know how liquid things can go, how fluid everything is. A year ago, gas was $1 cheaper a gallon than it is now. You don't know. So call David at that toll-free number and ask him what you need to ask him. And he has a morning radio show on Saturdays at 10 Central where he answers all kinds of questions on WGN AM 720 in Chicago. It streams. You don't have to be in Chicago to listen to it. It streams live. All right. Johnny from Michigan, he's going to be token up this weekend. Right, Johnny?
Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I had worked 6 hours today. Got paid. And tonight I'm going to smoke the selfie tonight. And I'll give you part of what I experienced. How about that?
You're going to smoke the Tommy Chong stuff tonight?
Yep.
Can I ask you how you got the Tommy Chong joints?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw them online at the store. In Michigan, marijuana is legalized. So we order marijuana. And what happens is that there's a store called the House of Bacon. And in that community, about 2 miles away from my house. And I called up. I sent a picture of my ID. And then 3 hours later, I got two joints.
Did he say the House of Bacon? Did I hear that?
Yeah, I think so.
House of Bank.
Like getting baked.
B-A-N-K.
Oh, bank.
Yeah.
House of Bank. Oh, because they're rolling in the dough here.
Okay. Anyway.
Because otherwise bacon would be fun. B-A-K-I-N.
Yes. Yeah, D is in dog, A, N is in Nancy, K is in kite. House of Dank.
Oh, dank. Dank. That's what the young children call
the marijuana?
The hooch, the devil's weed.
The joints?
Okay.
A House of Dank. Now, that settles that. It's all intrastate. So it's legal, so you can go and sell it and send it within the state. Yeah, okay. Okay. And
I actually ordered it, and it did not go to the mail. They delivered it like pizza. The guy came to my house. I gave him the cash for it and gave him a tip for his trouble, and he went on. So.
And what strain did you order? Is it called the Tommy Chong strain, or is there another name for it?
Tommy Chong Macchiato and Tommy Chong Bianco, 0.5 grams each.
And have you smoked this before?
I have smoked different CBD products. I smoked the Rent back a couple months ago, but this is my first time with the Tommy Chong. So,
all right.
Well, kind of interesting about it tonight.
All right. Well, let us know how it goes.
Yeah, I got to do a 2-page paper for my communication class about my quality.
Your quality of what?
about what people think about me. I had to ask 2 friends to name 10 points that they thought about me.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope that goes well for you. Let me know if you need any help.
Yep. Hey, Garry, thank you for your friendship. It's been an interesting day. I worked 6 hours today, and good day. I had a good day today. I just helped my neighbor upstairs with the washing machine downstairs because she was having trouble with the dryer. We got new dryers downstairs, and she needed some help, so I had to help her right away. So,
well, you're a good man, Johnny.
Hey, Garry, thank you very much. The picture was of the Wienermobile was at Walmart, and they gave me a whistle. So I did get the whistle.
There you go. Life is good. There it is.
Have a good weekend, Garry, Les, Ryan from Wisconsin, Keith, Martin, Roberto, George, Sandra,
Anthony, Walter, Phil.
Johnny's going to have to get his own screen door here so he can say hi to everybody.
Yeah, really. All right, Johnny, thank you. Good luck with the Tommy Chong strain tonight. Wow.
Yeah, have a good weekend, GarrForce.
I look at this show, Leslie, as the 21st century version of Leave It to Beaver. When Johnny talks about going to see the Wienermobile and getting a whistle and helping his neighbor with her washing machine, that's Beaver 21st century style.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And and Ryan takes us to Wisconsin where life is more simple and you can just watch a parking lot getting cleared.
That's it.
That's living, man.
What else is there? I mean, come on. All right.
Well, there is a drawing. And hey, I noticed Matt J, you put a space between the hashtag and commando, so you might want to re-enter if you're still.
And we're going to pick right after Leslie does a few stories here.
And somebody in the comment section noticed this. It is Squirrel Appreciation Day. So to everyone who still appreciates squirrels, in other words, those of you who've never had a squirrel destroy your bird feeders or your attic, happy Squirrel Day to you.
That's what I'm having for dinner.
Now we've gone Beverly Hillbillies all of a sudden. Anyway,
or Elvis.
Did he do?
Yeah, he used to eat squirrel.
And peanut butter and banana sandwiches,
yeah.
too.
That worked well for him. He lived to be 42.
Sheriff's police in Ravalli County, Montana, have confirmed the identity of a body found at the Lost Trail ski area last week. They say the body is that of 25-year-old William Brown, who went missing after getting separated from his group of friends on the slopes last Thursday. An autopsy determined he died of hypothermia. There was no sign of foul play.
What are you saying, Leslie, in so many words?
He was skiing at Lost Trail ski area and he got lost.
There it is. Right in the title, you got to figure there could be trouble. And how do you get separated from friends? When you're with your friends, and all of a sudden they're not there. How does that happen? Aren't you noticing that you're separating?
I guess.
And try to catch up to them?
This has been a thread we've been talking about on the podcast a lot. Like those guys who got caught up at a place called Slippery, Dangerous Slope.
Right. Slippery, dangerous slope. You're going to fall to your death, maybe pass. And they went anyway.
Exactly. Or Death Valley. It's right there.
Right in the title.
A man in Spain has died after getting trapped beneath a mountain of carrots. The 34-year-old was working at an agricultural warehouse when what's described as a large quantity of root vegetables fell on top of him. Emergency responders were called, but the man died at the scene. The exact cause of death, though, has not been determined.
And on top of the pile of carrots was Bugs Bunny. Hey, what's up, Doc? He's not.
No, he's... in an effort to get ahead of the controversy, a high school in Canada named for Queen Elizabeth's second oldest son is looking to change its name. The principal of Prince Andrew High School in Nova Scotia sent out a letter to parents this week telling them of the plan to rename the school to something that they say upholds the values and the safe inclusion of this institute. Lots of folks.
I was going to say that's too bad because the girls he was hanging out with were pretty much high school age.
Yeah, so in case you've been living under a rock, lots of folks, including his own mom, are distancing themselves from the prince as he faces a possible lawsuit here in the U.S. for assaulting a minor. This during that time when he was keeping company with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
And his name is on a high school. Isn't that just weirdo city?
So this reminds me of a thing that happened here in the city of Chicago when they named a hospital after a very prominent politician. And he didn't think highly enough of that hospital to go there when he suffered a health issue. So
Right. It was a heart attack or something, and he didn't go to the hospital that's named after him. And I'm thinking, I wonder if that hospital is not the best place to go if he doesn't want to go there.
And this is where maybe it's better if we wait until after people have passed away and we've looked through some of the skeletons in their closet before we start naming things after them.
Good idea.
Anyway,
Yes.
comedians Colin Yost, or is it Jost? Does he pronounce the J?
Pick one.
Okay, Colin Jost and Pete Davidson just bought a retired Staten Island ferry. The SNL duo, along with comedy club owner Paul Italia, placed the winning bid of $280,100 for the John F. Kennedy, which was decommissioned back in August because of mechanical issues. Apparently, the three new owners plan to rectify those mechanical issues and then turn the boat into a live entertainment and dining venue.
That's a great investment.
Weren't you a club owner, Gary?
Yeah, that's why I did that sarcastically. Here, take that $280,000 and just put it on the street. Same thing.
And a family in New Jersey is finding out the hard way just how much trouble a toddler with a cell phone and a credit card can cause. 22-month-old Ayansh Kumar loves to play with mom's phone. And when mom left the window to her Walmart account open, Ayansh went on a buying spree without mom realizing. That is until the deliveries started arriving, primarily furniture, nearly $2,000 worth of furniture. Mom eventually figured out what must have happened and contacted Walmart. The retailer says they'll be happy to issue refunds as long as the merchandise is returned in good condition.
Was it nice furniture, I wonder?
I didn't think of Walmart as being your furniture spot, but, heck, why not?
They sell everything. You've been there.
It's no fashion bug.
Fashion bug. All right. Well, let us pick that winner of the scarf and the wine condom. Here we go. Hit that button, Alan.
All right, here we go.
What's my name doing in there?
I don't know.
I wanted to test because people complain, and I said if we came up, we'd spin again. But congratulations, Kathy.
What if I won? Hey, Garry Meier won. Boy, this is bullshit. Kathy,
you'd be all adamant, like I am the winner. Damn it!
Yeah,
You can't take my scarf away.
Right, it's my scarf. Kathy won though, and congratulations, Kathy. If you could text me at 773-888-2157 with your address, we'll get that out to you. Okay.
Or you can private message Garry at Facebook or an email.
Yeah,
any of those.
Either way, we'll
somewhere
get you
private.
That. More private. Okay. That's it for this week. Thank you for viewing. Back next week, and it's time for that complimentary cannoli coming down the aisle. Take the cannoli. Wow. Let's see where the cherry.
Where's the cherry? Is the
wait
cherry
a minute.
there?
Wait. Look. This is how much I have left. There's that cherry waiting for me. Luxardo. Not much left. Okay. Take the cannoli. What about the schnauzer?
Like Johnny from Michigan, why not pose in front of a wiener with it?
Yeah, girl, boy. All right, there it is, that streaming schnauzer and his cocktail, or her cocktail. Thank you for listening. Talk to you on Monday, and have a great weekend. It is time to put that gear down, and the flaps are down. The voice of the globe, the GarrForce, has landed.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce